Hello everyone, my name is Kat Tuan Nguyen. I am an English instructor here at GPTC. Currently, I'm serving on the QEP committee, and it's become my responsibility to inform and distribute QEP information among all English 1101 faculty for compliance. Before I explain what that means, let us make sure that we understand what QEP means and why it is important. As you see here on the screen in this PowerPoint, QEP stands for Quality Enhancement Program. And QEP is required for the school SACS accreditation. And a QEP plan can be developed to include any number of much needed topics that may benefit our student population and help to enhance their academic success. At GPTC, our QEP plan focuses on 3 areas whose skills our students will need to function successfully in school as well as in the outside world. And these areas are basic computer skills, reading comprehension, and digital literacy. As a GPTC faculty, you might have noticed that many of our students do lack basic computer skills, such as saving files or uploading documents to a Dropbox, for instance. The Basic Computer Skills Subcommittee's goal is to develop and promote strategies that aim to teach and enhance basic computer skills among our students. The Reading Comprehension Subcommittee promotes reading comprehension skills across all disciplines of our school. And finally, the Digital Literacy Subcommittee, to which I belong, purports to teach students how to conduct information research in the digital environment effectively. Digital literacy is defined as the ability to read and interpret media, text, sound, images, to reproduce data and images through digital manipulation, and to evaluate and apply new knowledge gained from digital environments, with the most critical of these being the ability to make educated judgments about what we find online. If you've taught English 1101 before, this definition should strike you as familiar. These skills are essentially taught in English 1101 without the explicit identification of QEP. When we teach our students how to conduct research and find credible, reliable sources on the web and on Galileo, we are essentially teaching them one important aspect of digital literacy. It now makes sense that we begin to explicitly include QEP digital literacy as a required component of English 1101 curriculum, since we're teaching it already. And one of the reasons that we need to do this is to facilitate data gathering for the school's 5th year interim report due September 2018. The process of integrating QEP digital literacy portion to our English 1101 instructions is concerned with 3 goals, and these goals are: how do we improve student learning of digital literacy, how do we improve student engagement with digital literacy, and how do we improve student success in digital literacy. Digital literacy, as you know, as a topic, encompasses so many aspects of online information and issues that are related to the digital environment. And it is not possible for us in English 1101 to cover all of these aspects. So rather, our English 1101 coverage of digital literacy will be delivered only from a research standpoint, insofar as it relates to best practices and strategies for our students to conduct academic research. So with that in mind, we do have these objectives for our English 1101 instruction of digital literacy. We want to make students aware of different types of web resources and how they are perceived. We want our students to understand how information is collected and retrieved on the web, and we want them to employ keyword strategies that will generate relevant sources for them. We also want them to apply preview strategies to determine a source's usefulness to them. And of course, we want them to effectively evaluate a source's appropriateness, reliability, credibility, and depth, and apply ethical use and appropriate attribution to sources to avoid plagiarism. The Digital Literacy Subcommittee have developed some resources and strategies for assessment in accordance with the three goals that we just went over. That includes, student learning, student engagement, and so forth. So we've developed a digital literacy PowerPoint presentation for our English 1101 students. We have also included in the master shell a link to the Galileo YouTube tutorials. The LRC, the Learning Resource Center, has also, and specifically Dr. Wilmeth, has developed a separate QEP page to store all of our QEP resources, so that should be helpful for both students and faculty. And of course, we've also decided that it is necessary for all English 1101 class or sections to have an information research session/instruction delivered by a member of the LRC. And of course, we also have to come up with methods to assess students' acquisition of QEP and digital literacy. It is mandatory that all English Level 1 sections schedule a research information session with the Learning Resource Center at some point during the semester. The session will be presented by an LRC librarian showing students how to conduct research safely and reliably online and in Galileo. More importantly, the session can be taken place in your classroom if it has computers or in the Student Success Center. If your class is online or off campus, for example, at a high school, please check with a librarian for possibility if they're coming to your class. It is not guaranteed that they'll be able to commute to wherever your class may be. So to address this issue, and we do recognize that it can be an issue because, we will have some English 1101 sections taking place in various places at every semester. So we have to come up with a plan on how to deliver this information to all sections and all 1101 students. So we have decided and we intend to create a video of of a session, of a live information session, and we will make it available in the master shell so that classes not taking place on campus or cannot be reached immediately can have access to the same information without incurring this commute issue. So to schedule an information session with the LRC, these are the two contacts that you can that you can reach. And if you would like for your session to take place in the Student Success Center in the Clarkston campus in D1, please contact the director of the Student Success Center, Ms. Kimberly Sloan, and this is her contact information. So all of the QP items that have been created, can be seen on the QP page, which I'll show you the link to that, as well as in the English Level 1 Master Shell. The most important items in the Master Shell are, of course, the QEP assessment. The QEP assessment, QEP will be assessed in two methods. Your students will take a QEP quiz and conduct a QEP digital literacy scavenger hunt. Let me show you the course content of the master shell and where QEP items are located in the master shell. Okay, so this is the course content of the English 1101 course, English 1101 master shell. As you can see here, I've added a new module, and named it the QEP module because I think that just to keep it organized, I think that all QEP items should be contained in the same place. All right, but everything else should look the same. We still have the three modules and the final exam and so forth. So let's take a look at the QEP module. right? So as with every other module, you have the QEP module objectives, and the QEP resources takes you to that page that I was referring to that Dr. Wilmers created. This is pretty much our repository for all QEP items that are meant to be helpful to both faculty and students, and they contain not only digital literacy strategies and items, but they also contain other components of QEP, such as reading comprehension, and I think we're going to have a basic computer skills subpage here as well. Okay, so there is the link to that. Um, and there's also a link to the library or the Learning Resource Center page. And this can be helpful to your students, right, as it provides them immediate links for different research resources. And the Galileo YouTube tutorial should be helpful. It takes them immediately to Galileo's page for all of their tutorials. And their tutorials are by topics. And as you can see, each of the videos is quite short. So you can certainly have your students view all of these videos individually, or you can play them during class. And finally, there is a link to the Galileo homepage immediately. This can be helpful to students if they conduct research at home. That way they don't have to type in the entire URL. They can just click on this link and immediately come here. Now, of course, we all know that if they're conducting research on Galileo from home, they're going to have our institutional password. So make sure that that they receive the information. Okay, and the QEP Digital Literacy PowerPoint is here. This PowerPoint is made by me, and it may change, from semester to semester, but the QEP Digital Literacy Quiz content is based directly or solely pretty much on the QEP PowerPoint presentation. So before your students take the QEP quiz, please make sure that they understand that they must view the PowerPoint first and understand it first and receive the instruction presented in the PowerPoint before they attempt the quiz. Otherwise, they will not do well on the quiz if they forego viewing the QEP PowerPoint. And the scavenger hunt, here's the information. They have to do both tasks, right? So this is not an option where they can choose one or the other. They have to do both of these things. And this also serve as the Dropbox. Okay, so if they follow direction and they do everything that's asked in each of these tasks, they'll compose their responses and they'll drop it in this Dropbox right here. So this is the direction, but it also serves as the Dropbox as well. Okay, let's look in other modules because I think some of these items, the QEP links or QEP items, also appear in other modules as well, such as Module 1. I'm sorry, not here, Module 2. Okay, because Module 2 has essay assignments that requires research. I've also included in this module the link to the library, the link to the Galileo YouTube tutorials, as well as the Galileo link. Okay, so that is the new master shell with the QEP content included. All right, then let's go back to our faculty guide PowerPoint. Okay, I believe we're on this slide. All right, so the inclusion of QEP necessitates that we make some adjustments to how we evaluate the course. And we have to make these adjustments, of course, in the syllabus. And these adjustments are: the oral presentation will no longer be worth 10% as it did previously. It is now going to be worth only 5%. The QEP quiz is going to be worth 5% as well, and the QEP scavenger hunt is also going to be worth 5%. All right, so the updated course evaluation for English 1101 should look like this. Let's go over them. All of the short essays are still just 30%, and these short essays are cause and effect, persuasive, and literary analysis. The quizzes are still 20%, and it would be easier if you give 4 quizzes so that the distribution of 20% can be evenly divided among the quizzes. So quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, you have the latitude or the freedom to create these 3 quizzes, but the 4th quiz, or rather one of the 4 quizzes, need to be the the QEP quiz that is 5%, as was shown in the previous slide right here. Okay, so to repeat, um, all of your other quizzes, can be whatever you want them to be, but one of the quizzes must be the QB quiz, and it should be 5%, and you should have only 4 quizzes, again, like I said, for easy distribution of the weight. And of course, the QEP scavenger hunt is going to be its own item in the course evaluation list, and that's 5%. Now, what we did is, of course, we took um, the oral presentation's original 10%, right? And we gave half of it to the scavenger hunt, and half of it, is retained for the oral presentation assignment, and the research paper and final exam is each 20%. So that is our adjusted or updated course evaluation for English 1101. So your English 11.1 Blackboard Master Shell contains all of this information like I just showed you. I've uploaded the updated syllabus with the adjusted assignments. Please make sure that you implement these changes, especially for QEP effective spring 2017, and that you teach what the syllabus outlines to comply with state standards. When should we deliver the QB instruction and assessment? That is, of course, up to you. The decision is yours, but of course it makes sense for students to receive this information before they are assigned any works that require them to conduct research. All right, when you are creating gradebooks for your classes, especially in banner, please make sure that you explicitly identify both of the QP assessments, the quiz and the scavenger hunt, separately using the correct names, right? So you can, I don't know how you set up your banner gradebook, but for me, I have each of my assignment is its own item in my gradebook, right? So I name individually each of my quiz, each of my essay, and so forth. So this identification should facilitate ease of data aggregation or gathering. In the Blackboard Gradebook, I have included the QP assessments as 2 separate columns, and of course they are entitled QP Quiz and QP Scavenger Hunt. All right, citation analysis is something that Dr. Wendy Wilmeth, the director of the LRC, has requested. She asked that each of the English faculty instructor um, send the LRC staff member, it could be any member, it could be Ms. Richardson or Dr. Wilmeth, a, um, a sample of some of the works cited pages submitted by their students. Now, she and her team would like this information as a way to assess the effectiveness of their library and research instruction. And I think that their assessment and subsequent revisions to their instruction based on the samples that they receive, if necessary, can help to improve student success in digital literacy, which is, one of our 3 goals. So please lend your support to their effort. All right, so to recap, we had 3 goals concerning how we instruct and assess QEP digital literacy. For our goal of student learning, okay, we are enhancing this, or we hope to enhance student learning through the PowerPoint and the information session given by the LRC. For student engagement, we hope to engage them in practicing their digital proficiency or literacy through the 2 assessments that were given, the quiz as well as the scavenger hunt. And the scavenger hunt hopefully should be fun for them and hopefully should give them an opportunity to engage more realistically or authentically with the digital environment. And for our goal of student success, this should be demonstrated through this should be demonstrated through the successive assignments and the progress that we can see in these successive assignments that ask for research or some component of, digital literacy skills. Well, thank you for viewing this video and for listening. It is my hope in this video that that I've made clear to you all what QEP is and our responsibility for delivering the component that we've been entrusted with. And if you have any question at all during the semester regarding your QEP delivery or QEP instruction, please let me know. You may contact me by email or by phone. My extension is 1204, and my email address is nguyenc @gptc.edu.